So you might remember we had this invasion of the body snatchers down by the field when we were flying the ARF, and it looks like they've invaded 93 Elliott Place here. Look at these birds. This is unbelievable. I don't know what this is all about. It's like a new thing. They're all going over here. They were on my front lawn 5 minutes ago. Karen and I are going on a day trip out to Pennsylvania, and boy, we're thinking, something's going on with the birds here. I know what it is. We fed these birds the reindeer food, the Swedish tradition. Well, this must be. Look at these birds coming by. We now have the bird tradition. Look at this front lawn. They're everywhere. Hungry birds. All right, guys, I'm not flying my ARF today if that's the way you're going to treat me. Well, no, I don't even know what kind of birds they are. They're everywhere. They're like on every place you can see birds. Look at them go. I just think this is like a wild thing. I've never seen this before. We're up on our neighbor's front lawn now. Unbelievable. The great ARF adventure rolls on. We're on our little jaunt out to Pennsylvania, going through the town of Flemington, and there's always some railroad action here. Always a fun part of our trip, going through Flemington. Now, I want my wife to I want you to tell everybody why we're in Flemington.
We're looking at
Flemington Fur Factory.
Yes.
We're going to the Flemington Fur Factory. Lucky girl. What a lucky girl.
Yes, I need a warm coat.
You need a warm husband.
That too.
There it is, Flemington Furs. A girl's diamonds are a girl's best friend.
First or second.
This is really a nice old town. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here. There's a big hotel in the middle of town. A lot of antique dealers, but the biggest thing...
It's on this street. Or is it?
There's Flemington Furs. I see it in the background. Oh, what a lucky girl. Welcome to Flemington Furs.
It's on both sides of the streets.
Yeah, well, one is probably the outlets and one is... Oh, there it is right here. A girl can't get any luckier than Flemington Furs.
Okay.
Now what's important is all the money you save flying ARFs, you can buy your wife a new coat. So Karen approves of ARFs. Buzz Brodak's going to approve of ARFs here in Flemington, New Jersey. Now we always go on tour and check out some of the old houses around here. There's a lot of Victorian houses. Flemington, New Jersey, home of Flemington Furs. Look at this, look at this. Look. You need, once you have your ARF, then you can buy your wife a fur coat. Let me see this coat, Karen. Buzz Brodak insists on that John should buy her one of these for Christmas. Is this unbelievable?
Come on, this is fun.
Is this unbelievable? This is what happens when you marry a younger woman.
The person is kind of going to come and measure me.
Let me see the back of this.
One of them.
You believe this?
Loosen this up a little bit.
Oh, you know what it is.
She's been trying on coats for 3.5 hours here. How long have we been here?
Were you dead on the first salon first? No, no. 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
You know what it is? It's just...
that says you. I think you need it. I think you need a fur hat too.
No, I just tried it on first. Too much.
You don't like fur?
Too much fur.
Look in the mirror. Let me see what it looks like. I want the kids to see
Look how cute this is.
what their mother has become. Where did they go wrong?
When I walk out of here,
where did they go wrong? Well, yesterday Karen got her coat. She's as happy as can be with it too. And today we're going to try to meet some of the other guys, Bob Lampione, Mike Costello. You can see how early I've gotten up in the morning to get the paper. What a beautiful sunrise, but usually when it's red skies this early in the morning, it means it's usually not going to be a great day. But we're going to try to meet down at Pal Park, see if we can learn from each other. And I think they're going to bring one of the scores today, I'm not sure. It's definitely below 30 degrees. There's ice all of the places we normally have water on the field. Solid ice. And it's cold, but John Brodak, this is for you. Now, I'm not sure if these other guys are even going to show up. It's so cold. Oh, man, this is the coldest day. Oh, my hands just from getting the equipment out. And every time the fuel hits your hands is like, I'm going to try to find some like skin diver gloves or something. Oh man. But anyway, we're learning. We went back and forth with this little trim tab because what I tried to do, I tried to take the monocoat little iron and iron that flap, and I think I put a twist in it. I was trying to get the wrinkles out of the covering, and I think I pressed too hard on it. That outer flap is bent down. And it wasn't bent down before. And when I eyeballed it up the last time, it didn't look crooked, so I don't know. I just have to look at it. Oh, but dealing with monocoat is a whole different thing than when you have a dope finish, and it's something I have to kind of get used to now. I need an electric heater. Yeah. Woo. Don't you bite me. Now, after a couple of flights, I really feel like I've learned something really important. And it may be something that, oh man, that other people with ARFs it's gonna slip by them too now. It's real nice. I have George's monocoat little iron, and I've been ironing, trying to iron these little wrinkles out of the covering from time to time. And I never realized a dope surface tends to stay where you put it. But a monocoat, as soon as you heat it, it starts bending. The same way as, I don't know how to explain it, but I realize anytime I'm playing around with a monocoat gun by the flaps or the elevators, I've got to check that I haven't put a twist in them. But now thankfully that little tab will help today till we get home. But when we get home, we can just heat it and move the flap down. And I don't think we're dealing with a wing warp here. I think we're dealing with that because in the beginning this wing was perfectly level. The wing didn't change. I think I just screwed the flaps up. Again, when you go to get those wrinkles out of the wing, out of the flaps, you gotta really watch that you don't get them crooked. I don't know, maybe the answer is you put a block of wood underneath it and then iron it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna talk to Rich Oliver. Maybe he knows something that I don't. Well, maybe he definitely does. Anyway, air density is now down to 100. It was 102 before. I don't know why that happened. How can it be more than 100? I'm not sure. But we're getting flights. The whole crew, Lampione, and they were supposed to get here. Hey, my friend the Seagull's been out here too. Sometimes if I get to do some tripod work, look for that Seagull. He comes visiting in the middle of a flight.
Now the reason I put that last flight on the tape, I wanted to show how this, one of the little tricks we were having, little problems, is because we can't get the tank shimmed close enough to the mount. So we're on that little piece of plywood. In essence, the tank is out of shim. And when you get in cold weather, when it gets leaner and leaner, it tends to want to shut off as you release the plane. Now it happens randomly, but the two cures are just open up the needle just, a 1/16th of a turn, that'll do it. And the other thing is, and we're going to do this within the next couple of days, is get the tank shimmed the way it should be. And it's an ongoing thing to try to get these little adjustments done, but as I look back and review the flights, I can see all the little problems we had, and what I'm trying to do is put on some of the cures. Now, I'm not sure these guys are going to get here, these ice fishermen. But if they do, we want to share a day, but I'm getting some flights here before they get here. I didn't expect to get too many flights, but the thing is, each flight that I'm getting, I'm learning something. And that monocoat, the ironing those wrinkles out of the monocoat, boy, you got to be so careful. And I think the answer is, again, I'm thinking about it, put a block of wood underneath one side, iron it, hold it till it cools. Otherwise, what's happened to me is, as I was ironing out to the end, I think I kind of drooped it down, and now I need that tab there. I experimented with the tabs on the bottom the other day, on the top. It didn't make a significant difference because the flaps were straight to begin with, and I think it's just me that screwed them up. Again, we're certainly going to learn more about that as time goes by. I want to see if I can get some flights from the tripod before these guys get here. We're working with, we put a little tab on the outer wing. And I don't know for sure, I think I overheated that outer flap. Got a pretty steady wind. It's not bad, not unflyable yet, but it's cold. The thing here is it's cold. Well, one of the tough guys is here already. Brian, the tough guy. Look at that. Look at that background. Look at that. Arfing along here. 32 degrees. And the wind has started kicking up. I don't know how long. It's Mike Costello just pulled in the parking lot. Brian's here. We're waiting for Lampion. Lampion may have stopped for 10 extra cups of coffee. I don't know. Bada Bing was here. He had to go. And again, the idea is just to get a lot of people comfortable flying ARFs and get feedback from them and pass the feedback along. Now Brian's already had a whole day. He's probably got a half a gallon of flying it already, but every time he flies it, it seems like he's more comfortable with it than the time before. And that's the test. The test isn't if one super expert flyer can get one setup to work for him on a sunny day. It's when you have an all-weather fighter and anybody can pick up the handle and be comfortable and enjoy it. I think that's the real test. Now we have Mike's ARF here too, and I think Bobby's got his ready to assemble, so they'll probably get it assembled today. The original plan was to go up to Mike's shop, Mike Costello's shop, but I thought it would benefit Bobby if he got a couple of flights on this. And we'll see. We'll see where the day goes. It looks like we all will get some flights today. And we'll get some off the tripod later. Uh-oh, Tom Hampshire's here. Where's Mike?
I'll in finish. Okay.
Yeah, you got to use the fuel with castor oil. Don't use that road jet fuel in a Tiger.
So that would be okay.
You don't know. You're threatening your life, my boy. Listen, let's get this now.
Hey,
Since the last time we flew.
He wants to sponsor me.
Wait, what do you want to do now? The last.
So what do you mean?
I want to record. You got the different prop. Bobby, we're shooting video, huh?
Oh, it's the same prop.
Same prop we had at the club field? Okay.
I found the 7, but I just got it yesterday, so
okay.
I didn't get a chance to get it on the plane.
Pro Zinger?
So,
and what else did you change now? So we got a record of this. A stock head, which means you're going to have to open up the needle. It's probably going to use more fuel. Probably drive better at this field too.
Shimmed the tank up because it was
right. You were off on a tank.
Drilled some extra holes in the muffler.
Okay, that'll be the right direction to go in.
We moved the push rod down to the bottom.
Oh, okay. So now you have more flap than elevator.
Yes.
And if you're not happy, you can just put it back in the other setting.
Right.
Okay. So I want to document this.
I think there's something else. I can't remember.
Were all of these changes done on the workbench after the last session?
Yeah.
Oh, so this flight, you're going to have a half a dozen.
This is a new flight. You don't want to get cute about it. You don't want to have somebody test fly.
But you're going to have a heck of a time figuring out which change.
We're going there.
And a bigger handle. That's the right direction. Those are all the right. In other words, what I did, Tom, I flew it 25 times. And I knew what direction we're going, but I don't know where to stop.
Yeah.
This was wrong, the push rod, and it was all at the club field. Right. Here is going to be different. Yeah. Here, when you get up top here, you're going to need some drive.
The way it comes out of the box with the radio mount. There's no vibration. It ran fine.
Tiger 51.
Tiger 51.
Okay. And what is it in now? Double star? Or?
Double star 61,
okay.
The light long stroke. Because I had it. I says, let me use it.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to just do development.
And you know how I love oil, and I got tired of cleaning oil off, so I said, let me do this.
What's that?
A rear exhaust muffler.
Oh, yeah,
Takes the oil off the airplane.
Yeah, I know.
I hate my orange one. It's got so much. I'm cleaning.
We hate even launching it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Ruined two pair of my sneakers last year.
We need a wetsuit.
All right, so tell me what. Listen, tell me what you changed from. If a guy buys this, he just goes to the store, he buys it.
All right. Well,
what did he change?
After I flew it, it was definitely too sensitive.
Okay, touchy.
And I didn't like the controls. I used their horns. Their horns are still in this.
Well, are they 3/32 or 1/8?
They're 1/8 inch.
Okay.
I changed the lead outs to Sullivan BC.
Okay, those are.
I put the top flight, the reverse 4-inch black belt crank. You know the one of those?
I know which one it is. 4-inch, right?
The 4-inch.
Because it comes with a 3-inch, right?
Which
oh, yeah, lose that.
Too sensitive.
Yeah.
This is still removable. I glued that in. I left all the hatches the same.
Okay.
And it flew. It flew well. It was just too sensitive for me.
Okay.
You know,
That's what I've heard from 10 other people.
We guys in the East, I think we've just been doing it for years. We fly very nose heavy. You know, as opposed to the way the guys in the West Coast fly. You know, they fly with a very FCG. But
Well, don't forget, we got a lot nastier air here.
well, don't forget. I think what they've been
We're
doing,
smarter.
and what you've probably been doing, is they're going to much higher control horns, which is slowing it down. So now you take the sensitivity away, but you still
Yeah.
have the maneuverability.
But you still got to
I think
tailor
that's
the
the way we
plane
need
to the guy that's flying it. You don't
Yeah.
tailor it to one
So
guy.
definitely after seeing Bill Suarez's,
And Suarez's flies great, yeah.
I said, well, he gave me an inch, and the tank platform here
Okay.
is perfectly parallel to the wing and the tail. I put incidence meters and bubble levels.
Right.
This thing was right on the money.
Okay, but
Didn't
Billy
deviate
has a
at all.
crutch, a motor mount crutch.
That's what this
It
is.
comes with a radial mount,
Comes
right?
with a radio mount,
Okay.
which I took out. After seeing Billy's,
Oh,
I made a crutch.
yeah, if it works for
I
Billy.
used a full 12-inch.
Just a
half by
big
half.
Jim crutch, right? With the
Big
wood,
Jim.
half-inch? Okay.
And then I built a box around it for the tank to go on, which is under this.
Okay.
And then I put a block in there with a pipe holder just to get this in. That's-
Yeah, and this keeps the oil. I like that too.
Yeah.
Keeps the oil off the plane.
Come on, somebody fly.
So,
Come down here.
All right, Estella's ready to go. Let's get one of these snowballs out there and kick them around. The ARF Flyathon.
looks like
How
it,
do you like
doesn't
the
it?
stalker?
The stalker.
Show them the trick for starting when it's below freezing. By the way, there was ice on the seagulls this morning when I got here. They were stuck in the ice, I guess, from sleeping overnight.
There's ice on the water.
All right.
Sun breaks out of the view.
Put your own butter on it.
What is it?
Bran muffin, raisin bran.
muffin, good for you, Tom.
Bob, we're health food freaks here.
Yeah, that was a health food freak.
All the money he saved building an ARF, he buys brand muffins for everybody. Next up in the amazing fun fly, Bob Lampione will demonstrate his score with the Billy Suarez modifications.
I went through every
Bigger belt crank, different lead outs. See, that's the point. Everybody that has an ARF, everybody makes changes to suit their personal needs. There's no such thing as one shoe. You go to a shoe store and one shoe fits all. And if you try to make that happen, the only thing it guarantees, it won't fit anybody. And if you trim these planes so that only expert flyers can fly them, you're just kidding yourself. The lower skill level guys are not going to enjoy flying them. So we're trying to find that middle ground where everybody's happy. You know, the first flight Mike had, the motor was running rich. He had changed the head on the motor and changed the exhaust. So I'm not sure if he likes it. If not, he's going to put the Hemi head back on. We just need to get the needle set on this. And in this cold weather, setting a needle gets a little tricky. They typically use a little, don't forget Mike too. With a stock head and an open muffler, it's going to use the fuel quicker in this cold weather. Somewhere around the hourglass, start listening for a burp.
The way we have this tank in here,
Yeah.
you don't get a burp.
No burp.
You
Oh,
get like 2 seconds of
oh
and
okay.
then it's done.
Yeah. Now I got to loop this to shut it off. Most of the time I just loop it and it shuts right off. All right, Lampione, are you going to fly next or Lampione? Okay. Let's try to get a flight order going and then just switch pilots.
Jimmy saw it moving up and
Yes, he did. I'll look, well, move it a little bit and I'll look, let Jimmy look again.
SBS kid.
Kid?
Yo!
How old are you, Bobby?
64. I'll be
65 in March.
61.
Wow.
He just,
I might as well do this
he
in
just
April.
called me.
You better have a good time.
Unbelievable, Bobby.
You know how I can always tell these guys on a cold day who's wearing gloves and who isn't? Brian was the only one with enough brains to bring gloves to you. There's gloves in a car if you're dying. Nothing like the smell of lighter fluid on a cold day. You know, all the ice melted, it must be above freezing now. Bob Lampione, first flight with the score. As the field fills with ARFs. The District 2 official ARF fun fly. Tommy, is he looking for any trim things on this, or just... This is a much smaller plane than a Strega is, so with a 60 it's got, seems like it's, might even have plenty of power, I don't know. It looks like the wing is up a little inverted, or am I right or wrong? And it's definitely hunting an inverted flight, some, or that's Bobby. Yep, can't really tell, I'll have to see when he comes down. Nice motor run, nice 2.4 brake. Did he say how much this weighs? What do they weigh, like 55, 60?
I'm picking it up for lunch, I would guess 60, 62, but we'll have to...
But he's got a big bell crank in it. Yeah, so, whoa, whoa. All right. Now, I know the guys that have 3-inch bell cranks are all bitching that they're too sensitive, but anybody with a brain's going to replace the bell crank. I wish I had Rich Oliver's ARF here today. Boy, his is just a killer. I'm telling you. You can't believe it until you fly it. It's just that good. It's sickening.
Banging a tip a little bit.
Got too much tip weight?
A little bit. Not a lot. That outboard tip is down too, upright. Not a lot.
It looked up inverted through the camera lens, which usually means it's up. So
Yeah, it's not as straight.
ask the other guys to look at it though. You never know until 2 or 3 guys see it.
Yeah.
I can't see that from inside the circle. I gotta have Brian or somebody look at it.
No, inside, yeah, the parallax kills me.
You know,
Look at it from outside.
from outside it always looks up both ways. You know? I think they should start having contests for ARFs all over the world, and then I realized, wait a minute, they already do. Or you could say the biggest ARF contest in the world is the F2B World Championships. Say it any way you want. You can sweeten it, but it's the reality of the whole thing. Oh, he's got this in pretty good trim. This is not, it doesn't look, maybe tweaking that wing is the only, yeah, it's real close. There's nothing real giant wrong with it. But he did all the Suarez things to the nose, and that's the couple that I saw without having the nose done, I don't know.
I have heard that
they have in thrust and down thrust, and I don't know.
RC mount works just fine.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. I've heard it both ways, so.
Okay. I have not heard of anybody else's.
We really need to see Hummel's and his back to back.
Yeah. Well,
hold up that nice radius around all these critical edges, trailing edge, leading edge, around the hinge pockets, and in the final finish, you get all those little facets of light showing. That's about how much we want to leave on before we do a flap. I want to see. So you can tell that's Well, so Mike is getting a few flights on this with various adjustments to the needle. This still seems rich to me. Not burping up top. But we need to, when he lands, see how he's going to like the feel, if he likes the feel on this. With the flaps moving more than the elevators. Alright, so we're going to evaluate what the guys have seen in terms of trim and how Mike feels with the motor run. Again, Mike's made quite a few changes in one shot, so he's got his engine man here, his pit man, his wing leveling man, and his video man. All being paid exactly the same rate. Okay, so what's happened now? Mike's going back to back. He's got mine out there now. Getting some flights on mine, and the test is we want to have everybody here that's part of the ARF club go back to back with the yellow one, the red one, and the score. And we don't know how many of those we're going to get on video, but that's the whole idea. Now I wanted Mike to feel a difference. Just actually what he should do right after this is fly the score, just to see if it suits him better or worse or what. Now this has turned out to be a really unique day because it's a weekday between Christmas and New Year's, and we got a lot of guys playing hooky here. I'm one of them. And everybody seems to be getting some flight, some fun, having a good time. They're drinking gallons of coffee and trying to see who's going to be able to learn something about the ARF. Right after this, whoever's next will get... The idea here is I don't want this to cool down because then it bites you when you start it. And Rich Oliver's the only one I know that doesn't care if he gets bitten. My hand is turning into raw meat. I can see we still got a little tank shim to work on, and I still got to get the monocoat iron out and straighten that flap out. All little trim things you would have to do to any plane, it wouldn't matter. Okay, so Mike Costello now has back-to-back flights on the yellow one and the white one. Okay, Bob Lampion's flying my ARF now. What is he doing, a wing over here? Now the way I have it trimmed for me, it's still, I really have it trimmed for Brian. It's a little bit nose heavy. It probably could use a little tail weight for some people anyway. And I have a handle a little bit on a small side, basically because I'm trying to come up with a generic one-size-fits-all. For me, I would have the handle bigger a little tail weight, and for sure I want to get this tank shimmed. Now I've got shims that are too big and shims that are too small. I'm going to have to improvise something here. And I got to learn how to use a monocoat iron. Alright, so this is Bobby Lampione's first flight on Windy's ARF. And then what we'll do is we'll try to get him to fly the yellow one and back to back, or maybe not back to back. And you can compare the score and compare this side by side, which should be a relatively fair test on the same day here. And it's not a contest. ARFs are not, it's not like yours is better than mine, ha 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 ha. The idea is that everybody can add something into this database. And Bobby, of course, a national champion level flyer, he's going to find things that he likes, he's going to find things he doesn't like. And same thing with Mike Estella. Mike, Brian, they've all added little trim things in. Now I'm not sure what happened there, but it's not a great day. It's flyable, but it's not a great day. And everybody seems to be dealing with the cold just fine. And if we can get the atmosphere of everybody helping each other, everybody having a good time, here we are between Christmas and New Year's, I think we will have accomplished something. And we now officially have 10 in the club, so I don't know if Cooper's got his done yet. He wants to fly this, but he's not here today. Billy Suarez, of course, has a score. Mike Estella has 4 or 5 of them. I don't even know how many he's got. Lampione has 2 or 3, and I'm not sure how many. Again, multiples. Bill Hummel has multiples. Les Emmett has an ARC. Rich Woolbridge has 2 of them. Him and his dad have a matched pair. Gerald Champ has 1. There's a lot of them out there. Just to name the people that come. Rod Merrill's got one down there in Texas. Rich Oliver's got one. I suspect by summertime we're going to see a lot of them. Both the score, these, the smaller ones, and of course the Brodak Cardinals are already everywhere. Once you get a year into the cycle and make the little detail changes that are coming, just be awesome. And it's my recommendation that at this point, and this is the 11th or the 12th day of this development thing, my big suggestion, use the biggest motor you have, biggest prop, tape the hinge lines, and you probably, once you trim it for your flying style, you're probably going to be pretty happy. That's my guess. Whether you're a Nats champ like Bob Lampione or intermediate flyer, you'll have a ball. Tom Hampshire, I caught him in the middle of the flight because I was giving out DVDs to everybody. I'm not sure where he is. Maybe he's done with the pattern, I don't even know it. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Maybe he froze to death out there. Next up in a fly-a-thon, it's Brian, who has flown the plane, so it's like cheating. He's the cheater in our group. He's actually had a day of flying with me, where we were flying back-to-back flights. 12 days into it, we're wearing it out. He's got a 76 on order. He's going to do his ARC with some tissue covering. Should be an interesting combination since he had that World War I. Took a Cardinal and made it a World War I plane. Very cool. Had a 4-stroke in it. I think he had other motors, but it was a 4-stroke, a Sato in it at one time when we were doing 4 strokes. But that sky looks ominous. Got a lot of runny noses out here today. But it has been a very, very unusual year, and we have been able to take advantage of the month of November and December. As December comes to an end, we have flown just like it was the summer, if not more, especially these last 2 weeks, as we try to gather data so that through the 2 or 3 months that we're going to be working on a 90 ship, we might even put together another ARF or 2, I'm not sure. These seem to be just about as good as it's going to get. And again, the goal is not one killer, one guy stunt ship, but one that everybody from every skill level will have. When we get done with this and we make our dedicated ARF trim video, we're going to try to put in all the updates, all the tips, get it onto one video. And I think it'll be some good, valuable information for pretty much everybody. And I just don't think it can get a lot better than this. When you have a plane you can build in one day, and I'm sure if you're not videotaping the build and setting up scenes and stuff, I'd be willing to bet you might even be able to do 2 in a day. If you got 2 guys together and you did them back to back, like at a build-a-thon thing, like a Midgley build-a-thon thing, you might be able to get 2 of them. I'm not sure. An interesting event at the Brodak fly-in would be that at 6 o'clock in the morning, you show up at John's garage, there's 2 ARFs in the box, and the first guy that can do a stunt pattern wins both ARFs, like pinks. You could call it pink ARFs, that show where the idiot kids drag racing get to give up their car if they lose the drag race or whatever. You'll lose your ARF. Lose the flight, lose your ARF. Anyway, the wind is really starting to kick up now. It's getting brutal. I'm not sure how much longer these guys are going to get on with it, but it seems like we've gotten a lot done in a very short time here. Brian Manow, the official test pilot of the Strega ARF program.
Steve Wilk.
Yeah, I heard about that. Watch he's going to lose the property.
If Mike loses the prop, I'll make sure I stick him in the gut just so it doesn't get away from him.
And I said, look, sir, we have 3 choices today. You can have...
Look at his air density. All right, who's flying? Lampione. Lampione's flying the yellow one. Yeah, definitely. All right, you're on a motor run now. Now you got a motor run. That's good. All right, so now he should be able to fly it. Should be no problem. That wing look levels now, Jim? You guys tweaked the wing, right?
Looks level inverted. It looks a touch upright, so maybe we need a little more weight.
I haven't flown this one since we were at the club field.
It's so wobbly out here.
Oh yeah, it's jingling around out there, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's definitely looks inverted.
Mike, I had to raise the engine in mine because you run at, there's a floor that's too high. That floor could be thinner. I don't know, I gotta look at mine, and I'm not gonna...
Now I gotta raise the motor.
Put a 16th under the motor. So Mike's experienced the same issue that I have, is the tank runs into the shim. The shim actually could be a thinner piece of plywood, maybe 64th plywood or whatever. One size smaller anyway. But this is running much better now. And Bobby's going to start building his today. I think they're going over to Mike's to the shop at the end of our fly-a-thon here. So basically, on a really freezing cold day, the ARF Polar Bear Club, I think we learned something, and we certainly all had a good time, and the guys are all going to head out to Ron's Deli for lunch. I have to head back to the shop. I have work to do, unlike these other gigolos that can take the whole day off. Now, what I always do when I get home from one of these flying sessions, I make myself up a little list of the things that I want to do. I try to make a list of what worked well, what didn't work well, what I want to change before the next session. In this case, I want to work on those flaps. I still have that from that monocoat iron and from not knowing what I'm doing, really. I also have my assortment of motor mount pads, and now I have them 16th, 3/32nd, 8th, and I can make little sandwiches of them until I get the tank shimmed. Now what's really good is I really got to see this up close and personal, because from outside the circle it's a lot more obvious than inside the circle. I wanted to take the Raby rudder and click it in, and I could see from outside the circle, I can see places where it's not right, which I can't really see from inside. I have to do it by feel. And what I wanted to do is make an adjustable tail weight so that I can vary it for various people. Like Brian seems to like to fly a little nose weight, and I was trying to think of a convenient way to do it that when I fly the plane I can just bolt in a ½ ounce of tail weight. Anyway, but we got more data in the database today. Seemed like everybody enjoyed our impromptu fun flight, and I want to get busy as soon as I can, get all these things done, so maybe we can get another flying session in tomorrow. It's like it's never going to end. Summer's never coming, winter's never coming. I don't know what, it's crazy. We were all freezing out there. It was really cold out there, but it was fun. Now here's my suggestion: whenever you have a little Raby rudder linkage, if you see at the top of the hourglass, and you could see how many hourglasses I was doing at the end of some of those test flights, and it gets soft or soft on the outside part of the square 8, this is my suggestion. Just go in, I go in 2 turns, which is 4 rotations. Now if this gets better, on the next session we'll know. I also have 2 adjustments. I can make it more or less sensitive as I want. Of course, this is a nuisance putting it back on. Okay, now what I always check for is that my full up, that I haven't gone back that way, and I've added to the outside part of it. You can still hear that tape clicking along, but that little bit really gets the top of the hourglass to snap around. So as I do these things, and it's real easy, get rid of that one. Now the next one I wanted to take, I want to make the little thing for the tail weight, because I want it to be adjustable, that I can change it in between flights. I kept looking at, I don't know, I guess that's 15 degrees of travel, but with big 14-inch props, that's a must. Anyway, works well for me. Now, what I thought of doing is just putting, and this is a nice solid piece of wood here. They have a tail post in here, of drilling a hole for a 440 bolt and just putting 1 piece of tip weight on each side. It doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be fancy. Because if we decide we're going to leave it, if I was the only one going to fly the plane, I'd cut a little hatch and bury it inside. I don't have to do that right now, because when Brian flies it, I can just take a 440 screw, take it off. Or if somebody says, oh, it's a little nose heavy, I can put an extra piece on. So having that little adjustability, it's going to be a 2-minute job to do that. Let me just figure out where I want to put this. Maybe I want to change my mind here. And now what this allows me to do is infinitely vary. In fact, we'll start with a 1/2 ounce, I guess. And again, it's because this is a taxi cab. I'm going to get a lock nut. Let's see if I have a castellated lock nut for that. And I can infinitely make it variable right at the field in a matter of seconds without even flipping a plane over. And that'll just be a convenient way to do this, right at the field, as we try to let people of various skill levels fly the plane.